Hey everybody, this is Doug and Kristen Pollock, and we are on our Valentine's Day getaway. We snuck away from our kids for 3 days. We're really counting all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And really it's only like 2 days, but you know, we like to get away and make sure that we have an opportunity to connect with each other and just give some special time to the needs of one another. And so we're here in Jackson, Mississippi, staying at the Fairview Inn. It's a beautiful bed and breakfast. If you've never been, you might want to check it out. And so I woke up yesterday morning and I began to pen a letter to my wife because I didn't want to go purchase a card. I wanted to be able to write something that was like truly from the heart, that didn't just come from my heart, but it really spoke to her heart. And so, you know, we got up and she put all the Valentine's gifts out for the kids and for myself. And of course, she assumed I didn't have anything for her. And so after everybody had a chance to look at their gifts, she looked at me and said, well, I told you what I wanted. And I said, really, what was that? She said, well, I told you I wanted these Ray-Ban sunglasses that we saw like 4 months ago when I got these cool glasses. And she said, I'll give you another shot next year. And I said, oh, you think so? I said, hold on, I got something for you. Something way better than a pair of Ray-Bans. And so I went and I got this letter that I wrote that was, to me, it was like everything that I ever thought, felt, or could imagine about the woman that I get to spend the rest of my life with. And in the process of doing that, I found this notebook that I had spent, I don't know how much time outlining things that we want to do with regards to a marriage ministry. And so, you know, I brought this notebook because there was a question in there and it said, how do you obtain oneness in marriage? And so, Kristen, how do you obtain oneness in marriage?
I think for me, he always tells me to speak up. My voice doesn't carry, but it carries, if that makes sense. It carries weight. I think before I could become one in my marriage, I needed to learn to become one with who God had created me to be in His image. And so for me, I had to start with who did I believe I was first before I could ever see Doug for who he truly is in Christ, if that makes sense. And then I also learned that there's a lot of opportunities where you just agree to disagree. And it's okay. That unity is not always agreement. Unity is deciding to protect the relationship that you have with one another. So that would be mine.
So I did not let her read these answers or these statements that I made on there, but you know, when I was writing down what I was writing on about how to obtain oneness, you know, one of the things I said is you have to establish independence. Kristen has to be Kristen and Doug has to be Doug. And then when we establish independence, we then begin to establish a commitment to each other. And then once we establish a commitment to each other after we've established our independence, that's when we begin to establish intimacy. And it's in those intimate moments like these times when we have a chance to get away, when we don't have our kids. And thank you, Duty, and thank you, Pearl, for taking care of our babies while we're gone, that we really get to establish that intimacy that can only be established when you have less distractions going on. And you know, so we do a lot of communicating, we make a lot of decisions together, you know, we share the load. And you know, I think to the last point that Kristen made is, you know, we both had to realize that we couldn't change the other. And that's not for a lack of effort, because I promise you, she tried to change me and I tried to change her. I could not stand that she would leave the icebox door open, which she still does today. And you know what? I finally got a little peace in our marriage when I realized that I could not change that in my wife. What did you want to change in me?
I would always tell Doug to do this. Hold your lips and just be quiet. Just Doug is very opinionated, and it's not a bad thing. He does it in love, but if there's going to be anything, he's going to have an opinion about it. And so for me, my thing would always just be, can you just be quiet? Can you just be quiet? And yeah.
So while we were out spending time, intimate time today, we saw this book that was titled Everybody Has an Opinion, so let me give you mine. So with all that being said, you know, we have learned to fulfill our role and take pride in our role and not look at the role of the other one and, you know, reduce or diminish their contribution to the marriage. And so you guys stay tuned. I'm sure we're going to have some other stuff. You know, we're thankful for the opportunity that you've taken just a few minutes out of your day to listen to us share a little bit about our heart, and most importantly, to share with you what God's done in each of us. So we appreciate it. New Day Doug, sign up, sign on. We'll keep you posted. Happy Valentine's Day.